Well, today we are back with 33-inch Hantarex Polo number 3 of 3. So on the first video in this series of 3, a couple of videos back here on the channel, I talked about how I picked up 3 of these 33-inch, I didn't write that, that came on there, 33-inch Hantarex Polos, and successfully converted them to 25. Now, the 33-inch is, I'd say, a little bit more rare than the 25 because these really only came, as far as I know, someone can correct me, these really only came in the showcase cabinets, and they're not widely used out there. So it makes more sense to convert this to 25-inch and just use it for a 25-inch application. And it is complete. Came with the remote board, but it's missing the harness. This was just attached to here, which you can just attach it to the main board. You don't technically need the remote harness. This will plug right onto the main board. But it is complete except for one issue. It's missing the horizontal width coil. And, you know, I changed out the width coil on the last one, number 2 in the series of 3, because it was broken and burned, or that may have been number 1, I forget. But I have 3 of these parts chassis over here in the closet, and 2 of them already were missing the width coil, and the third one I was able to rob for the last repair that we did. So I was fresh out of width coils. I think, well, what am I going to do? Because you can't just go buy these. And I don't want to buy a parts chassis just for the width coil. But I was going through my stash of parts up here, and I thought, you know, I swear I've got one somewhere. And sure enough, going through my little trays here, up here off camera, I got a whole bunch of these organizer trays. And I have a bunch of extra width transistors. And sure enough, as I thought, I had an extra one in this little bin here. So this is my last horizontal width coil for a Polo. So if any more come across the bench that have a damaged or broken or missing one, we're going to be in some dire straits. But so I do have one, so that crisis is averted. But well, speaking of dire straits, this is in dire straits also. Now, how can you tell immediately offhand that this is a 33-inch and not a 25-inch? Well, it's got this linearity board here, this vertical riser linearity board. This is a dead giveaway that this is a 33-inch because the 25 and 28-inch ones do not have this little riser board for the extra pin cushion that you need to fill out the screen on a 33-inch versus the 25-28. So this is in fact a 33-inch. And the flyback is different. You can also tell from the flyback. There'll be a sticker on the side of the flyback that says, you know what? Do I still have that old one? Hang on, let me see if I can find that old one I had from the last repair. Okay, I went dumpster diving, and sure enough, I have the flyback from the second one of these that we fixed in the last video. So, as an example here, the 33-inch Hantarex Polo flyback is part number 1242.5004, and the flyback for the 25-28-inch is part number, oh, that's not the right one, hang on, okay, here we go. I grabbed the wrong one off my parts list, or parts bin down here, okay. So the one for the 25-28-inch Polo is 1242.5001. So you can also tell immediately offhand by just looking at the part number of the flyback. Now, in this case, somebody has already replaced the flyback, and I don't have any idea if this is the right one or not. Let me put this stuff back here out of the way. Okay, sorry about that. All right, now I can get rid of that. So this one here, I don't have any idea what this is. There's numbers on here that say 2007 08 30 of 2007. So this was made August 30th of 2007. And then it says, what is that, 49-3097-00. I haven't done any research to see what that is, but so I don't know if this is the correct, proper flyback or not. But just out of pure scientific curiosity's sake, we'll go ahead and try it with that one in there. I don't know. Not just, well, you wait till I turn this over, you'll be amazed. But so the immediate classification of this, just from looks, is if it has this little riser board and it has the 1242.5004 flyback, just from visual looking, you'll be able to tell right away that it's a 33 inch. So, and I've also got down in the description of the video, you'll see that there's a list of stuff that's the differences between the 33 inch and the 25/28 inch. And there's a whole bunch of resistors that I don't want to say have to get changed out, because they don't have to get changed out, but there's a bunch of resistors that are different, and you can change those if you want to. But the only components you have to change to convert this to 25 inch is remove the riser board here, change the flyback to the correct flyback, and change, I believe, C170 and 174 are the only two things you really have to change. Everything else is the same across the board. So anyway, so to save a little time on this, I already did the light bulb test and fixing the power supply and all that, because it's the same with all these. I got a number of videos already on that. But other than that, it's complete. Now, it has been relatively butchered. Some caps have been changed, some have not, like these two green ones, this green one. The filter caps have already been changed, although they are 470 volts. I'm sorry, 470 microfarad, but they're only 200 volts, so they'll probably be okay. I'd like to put 250s in there, but I may just leave those in there. And they have changed some caps here on the neck board right there. So, and somebody removed the neck board for troubleshooting. And instead of pulling out, so all these wires that come off the main board over here, you can just desolder them and take them out of the board. Well, somebody didn't do that. They cut the wires. They cut the wire and then restripped it and soldered it back to the pin. The pins you can just solder right out of the board, but instead of doing that, they just cut the wire on all of these. They cut the wire and then resoldered it back onto the pin. Now, why in the world would they do that? I don't know. Some people, that's not something even an amateur would do, because even an amateur would know you could just desolder the whole pin and put it back in. But they are tough to get back in the hole, but I mean, come on. That's just Bush League. Laughable, man. Ha ha!
It's Bush League Sega stuff. Laughable, man.
All right, anyway, so that's really the only issues visually on the top side of stuff. But this had the identical problem to the first one of these we worked on, where the power supply was just going tick, tick, and then if I went like this, bloop, it worked and the light bulb came on. You know, you pull out this leg of T6 here off of this TP6 test point, lift that leg, attach your light bulb to it or your meter or whatever, and you can do your light bulb test. I may show it here shortly, but I don't think I even have that soldered back in. As a matter of fact, I don't think I do, which if I don't, we'll just show it here real quick. No, I don't. Okay, so we'll show the light bulb test just so you can see. But it was just going tick, tick, and if I pushed on the heatsink like this, oh, light bulb come on. Let go, light bulb shut off. So I'm going to insert a little quick video here of what was happening before I fixed it so you can see what it was doing. And so it ended up being the exact same issue as the first one we worked on. I don't want to give away too much. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to save the juicy stuff here for a moment. But right here, where the heat sink goes through the board, I don't know if the heat sink took a hit from the top, but it cracked right there, it cracked right there, it cracked right there, and I'll insert a picture or two of what this looked like before I fixed it here right now. Okay, so yeah, you can see how it's cracked in those 3 or 4 spots. So I was able to put a jumper across there, solder that back together. So after that, everything's now reliable. So we had more cracks in the power supply, but otherwise I was able to resolder all this stuff. These resistors were loose like always, so I got the whole, it needs cleaned up still from the flux, but I got the entire power supply completely reflowed and working and tested and reliable now. So the power supply had issues just like the first one, or pretty much like they all do. What happens is this transformer is so heavy that I think just handling this thing, this will get cracked joints, and if this thing gets walloped by something or someone lands something on here, it cracks the joints around this leg of the heatsink. So yeah, just always be aware of that when you're working on these power supplies. So I got that rework done, and then after that I finally got my light bulb to work, and I got the B plus set to around 142, which should be somewhere around 138 once we get the tube load on it as opposed to just the light bulb. So if we clip that to there and put a ground on there, nothing's touching there, everything is okay. All right, so now I break the ground off. Okay, now trust me, the B plus is around 142. And I took the pot and wiped it back and forth, clean it all up, so that's good. So if I hook up power, now if I just turn it on, bleep, there you go. And if I wiggle this around, solid. So, all right, that is good. And actually, I should leave it on there to discharge the filter caps. And yeah, that's going to be good. And if you want to, you can just take it and directly touch it to the frame, and that'll discharge it immediately. So, power supply is now good. Just wanted to save a little time on that. Because, you know, most of these videos are an hour and a half, and people tend to lose interest after a long time. So, all right, so now what we have to do is figure out what else is wrong and get that going. Now, that's going to be, we may end up with an hour and a half video anyway, because one thing I noticed is that this has gotten so hot and it's run so long and all the markings are gone. It should be 2.2 k ohm. I haven't tested it yet, just curious here. 2.2. Yeah, see, that's low. That should be 2.2. If we grab another one, if we grab another one here and test this one, yeah, 2.2. So this one's a little low, and I could tell because if you look at this one still has all the writing on it. It says 7W, 2K2J. This one's completely barren. So I knew this one's been hot for a long time. So we may have to end up changing this one because 2.0 is too low. It should be 2.2. This one's 2.183. So yeah, I'll probably end up having to change that. This one should be about 5 ohms, somewhere close to that. 4.8. 4.9, so yeah, I realized you probably couldn't see me what I was doing there, but this one here is about 5 ohms, so that one's okay. I can see the writing on that one, so yeah, if you ever see one of these white ceramic resistors where all of the silk screen on the writing is completely gone, it's been very hot for a very long time, so most of the time they're out of tolerance. In case in point, we're out of tolerance on that one, so, or very close to the limit. All right, so what else is wrong with this guy? Okay, I guess we'll just go ahead and reveal the back side or the bottom side, because the top side just has it had the power supply problem, and it's missing the width coil. Otherwise, the top is pretty complete, and it's got this mystery flyback on here. But the bottom side, I saved this one out of the 3 that I had. I saved this one for last. For this reason. What in the world is going on here? The corner of the chassis is busted off, so they've got these extra traces on here, jumper wires, but what is with all of this? There's this long wire, this wire that goes across. I can understand this jumper for the broken trace in the corner, and this one, but I don't know what this other blue one's for, because that runs down this way, not part of the broken corner. I'm not sure if this flyback will work actually, because the ground here is supposed to be a pin there from the flyback through the ground. This is just the ferrite core, is all that is. It's like this flyback's missing the ground. So I wonder if someone did all this work because they put the wrong I'm going to take this flyback out, put the proper one in, because I don't know if this is right. I don't want to damage something. So I'm going to take this out. I thought about leaving it in, but I think I'm just going to take it out because it's a mystery. I don't know what it is. I'm going to put one in here that I know is going to work. So so there's all this bodge work and rework and wires and strands and who knows. There's also components that are supposed to be on the top side or on the bottom side. But if they're not any good or they're on the bottom side for some reason, so someone took these out because they thought they might have been bad and put them back on the top instead of, on the bottom instead of putting them back through the top. So we'll fix that, test them to make sure they're okay. We'll fix all this gobbledygook on here. They've got this cap on the bottom side here, but I don't know why, because it'll fit back on the top. So this cap, there should be a cap right there, and they put it on the bottom side. So obviously they took that out, and it's all burned under here. So it's likely faulty or bad. Well, we changed these poly caps out anyway as part of preventive maintenance. The HOT has been desoldered and it's not resoldered in, and they got this extra wire here. Is it even, what type of HOT? What type of HOT is that? That is BU508 alpha. Well, that should work. I think that's actually the original factory one. The HOT is not factory. The HOT part number is, but that's definitely not a factory HOT. The factory HOT, I believe, did not require a insulator. But do they have an insulator on this one? That may be the cause of their problem. They do. Okay, it's on there anyway. And I could be incorrect about the insulator also, but is it even good? Hang on. It helps if I read it correctly. 4.8 and 0.9. I'm pretty sure that should be an open reading. It's only going to have 0.45 voltage drop to one leg and not the other, but I could be reading the leg in circuit. So there's our 0.5 voltage drop to that leg. This one should be open. Let's make sure it's not touching anything on the circuit. Yeah, see, it's open. Okay, I was pushing it over and I'm touching the pad. If I touch just the leg, it's open. So that's correct. So HOT's fine. So let's put that back in. Oh, shut up. Is there anything else on here that is out of whack? Let's look here. I don't see anything immediately other than, so on these 33 inches, all three of these that I've got, for some reason, this J117 is missing, and these two resistors are missing. So that's normal for the 33 inch. These two resistors aren't installed. They're not required on every version of the Polo, so I'm not going to put resistors in there because they're not there from the factory on the 33 inch. And part of the 25 inch conversion, I've done two of these now, and these resistors are not in there, and it works perfectly. So from my testing, these resistors don't need to go in there. But it's odd that this J117, it's a little tab, like you would connect something to it. It's been missing on all three of these 33 inches, and that's odd. But that's just something I noticed on all three of them. But as far as the backside, other than this destruction over here, everything else seems okay. But I don't know why they did all this, because it looks like the traces are completely intact. I don't understand any of that. The only thing that looks like it needs to be jumpered is this corner here. There's only a couple of traces. Let's see if we can trace this out. Not sure where my little driver went. Here it is. So, all right, so this trace here runs through here and connects to this. That's why if you follow this around, it runs to this. So there is this trace, and this one. Which is different. Where does this one go? This is the bottom one that runs, so this is the very bottom trace right here. And that runs to this one. Then there's this one. Where in the world does that one go? There's no other trace. Let me grab another one just for comparison here. I'll grab a parts one. So here's a parts one. I got three of these over in the corner. I might even, you know, for all intents and purposes, there's no reason why I couldn't probably bring this one back to life. There's no, see, here's what I was talking about, how there's still a insulator here, but this is the type of HOT that doesn't require an insulator. But it looks like it's already been recapped, and I must have threw it in the bin for parts because it had an issue or something I couldn't resolve. But it's not damaged or busted or destroyed. Could probably even try and use this to resurrect it. That might make an interesting science project. But regardless, if we look in this corner here, there is no trace for that. So there's this bottom trace that they've got that blue wire on. Then there's this destroyed section here. And it looks like there's no trace for that. That appears to just be, oh, and I robbed the brightness resistor. That appears to just be one congregation of, so there's a resistor that goes across there. That's that brightness, no, that's the resistor right there. Does anything even go there? The only thing that's connected to that is a jumper. Where's that jumper at on here? Nothing even goes to that. So that doesn't even need to be fixed. All right, I'm gonna let me take another look at this, because this is wasting time, and I don't think anything actually connects to that. There is nothing on these pads. So that goes to nothing. This hole here goes to that little hole there, but nothing's connected to it. There's no jumper installed there. And then it goes down here to the rest of this stuff that doesn't have anything else on it. So there's nothing on this trace that we need to worry about. It's only this bottom trace here. And we could scrape this off of here and just run a jumper, like a component leg or a cap leg across here, and get rid of this wire, which will probably do that. And it looks like it also is cracked. Oh yeah, it's cracked across all three of these traces. And that's why it's cracked right across all three of these traces. That's why they have this wire here, and this wire here, and this wire here. So these three wires are because of these three cracks, which we could fix that a lot better than these three jumper wires. So we'll have to take care of that. But I'm mystified what the rest of this is for. I'm just going to remove, see right now what we can do is, let's just put the meter in continuity and go from here to here. Okay, now if I was to remove this wire here, I don't understand the purpose. So that wire's gone. Do I still have continuity from here to here? I don't. Interesting, because it's cracked across here. Ah, okay. That's why. So we'll have to fix all of this. That's no big deal. Does this crack go through here too? It sure does. Oh. Yep, they didn't even have a jumper on that one. Probably why they gave up on this. What about here to here? Nope. It's cracked through here too. Dang. You poor thing. I'll take care of you. Yep. It's cracked through there too. Wow. You know, okay, so then there's a crack across. Is this a crack too? Good Lord. Oh, we are going to have our work cut out for us on this one. So it may end up being an hour and a half long video anyway. But let's just start with fixing this as we go. Okay. Let's start with this one. Let's get rid of this wire. Okay. And let's just go all the way across here. Can I bend this out of the way? Not really. Okay, this is actual real fiberglass, guys, so you want to put this, hover this over your trash can or whatever refuse receptacle, easy for me to say, that you have, and just kind of brush it right into the trash can, because you don't want to get any of this in your skin, hands, step on it with your feet. It sucks. And I'll link this, what I use here, down below. And don't forget, pop the cap off. There's an extra fill, fiberglass fill in there. So after the first one runs out, don't throw it away. All right, so we should be able to fix this a lot better and easier than what they did before here. With that much surface exposed, we should be able to simply just do this and be nice. That'll be nice and secure. That's not gonna pop off or anything like that unless somebody, you know, ha-cha right onto it, but that should be fine. Now these three here, yeah, that's a pretty bad crack. These three here, I'm going to use a component leg, and that should take care of, get rid of all of these wires, because that one runs through that one, this one runs through that one. We took that one off, so I'm going to get rid of them now. And there's nothing wrong with, let me get this, go back here. There's nothing wrong with doing this. You can do this just fine. But for a better looking result, I would do here what I'm doing. So, all right, let's tin these up here first. Okay. Now let's grab some thicker legs here if I can find them. That girl is poison. All right, this will work. We're going to use some 50 volt 1000 legs here. And I kind of want to hold this in place. And just do one side. And then we can cut the other side here to length right there. And then we can hold this down and, oh, you lazy, dirty, rotten bum, you. Stay there. Okay, well, that's set in place on that side. And I think that's good. Okay, now, next one. Don't want to get those legs too short. Okay. Next one here. There we go. Cut that one. You want to be careful when you do this. Hold on to it while you rock that back and forth, or you'll lift that trace off of there, which wouldn't be the end of the world, but you want it to stay as secure as possible. Okay, there's that side. And that side. We'll hit that side one more time. Okay, 2 for 2, and that looks pretty good. All right, uno mas. Get out of there, you. Okay, I just got this bin of caps here of 1047s kind of combined together. And last but not least, we'll just repeat that process one more time. And hold on to it while we do that. That girl is poison. Okay, stay there. Cool down, you. Okay, that looks nice. Now let's go ahead and test it here. Actually, I want to reflow some of this stuff here. Where they had this stuff attached. Not that it needs it, but I want to make it look a little better here. Okay, is that now resolved? They may not have had that one fixed, that top one. I had a jumper on that one, if I recall. They may not have had a jumper on that one. That might have caused one of their problems, but so this over here should now go through this trace up to here. Oh, you know what? I am a complete idiot. I don't know how many of you were going, well, that's not going to work, you dummy. Well, you're right. It's not going to work. It's 8:30 in the morning on a Sunday, and I guess I'm just not awake yet because that's not going to work at all. There's no trace there. Oh, my Lord. What a, what a colossal maroon I am. Oh, man. That's not going to work at all. I need a... Oh, jeez. Let's grab this 35 here. Oh, my Lord. I got to go all the way over to... Oh. right, stay there. Don't lift off and stay right there. Okay, so then I need to take this and bend this around like so. And we'll hack it off roughly here. That still gives me plenty of leg left to use this cap. No big deal there. There's no board out there that's that thick. So now we kind of have to massage this over and away from, well, I guess it doesn't matter because this pad here, or this entire thing here, has nothing on it. There's nothing on this entire trace. It doesn't go anywhere, doesn't connect to anything. So I think what we'll do here, I'm just gonna, for double the strength, I'm just gonna solder directly to this whole thing over here. Like that. Okay, stay there. There we go. Oh, there we don't go. Okay. And like I say, this entire pad here, this whole trace here doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't have anything hooked up to it. So that's fine to do what I just did, because if we look again over here, that whole thing is this. Oh, wait a minute. Is that connected? No, it's not. So this whole thing here, this thing here, there's nothing hooked up to that at all. If you flip this over, there's those three pads with nothing on them, and there's that side of that jumper, and that's what these three pads are, and this side of that jumper. So there's nothing on there, so we don't have to worry about any component or shorting or anything like that. So that'll work. That'll work just like that. Okay, now that I'm not a complete numbskull, that should be secure. And that's why you always double check afterward, because I would have not noticed that until it was too late. So now if we go from this pad over to follow it along, it runs up to here. Yep, there we go, and it's a ground apparently. Oh no, it's not. Okay, I thought I tapped this thing there. So that's good. So that's the bottom trace. Now the second trace goes from, let's go all the way up to here, which you can't see. Let's go, it runs through this and all the way up to here and this and to here. There's something missing from there. To look at that. But we'll go here through that trace around to right here. Good, okay. Now this goes down through to here. Yep, that's good. Doesn't go to anything else. So those three are fixed. Now what about through here to there? Of course, that's going to be okay. So that's all fine. Okay, so this is now repaired. And I'll clean it later and put some paint over it. Not a big deal. Probably do that off camera, I don't know. But so that's repaired now. Okay. Now, what about this? Is this good? It is. But I want to, I don't know if that's a scratch or a crack. Actually, what about this? Well, that's good, but there's a, see, I'm touching the exposed trace there. Oh, now it's not good. Now it's not. So I can touch the trace from each side, but there's no continuity here. All right, we got to fix that. Man, you guys can see that, right? Right through here, right through there and across there. I don't know if it's a crack, but we're gonna fix it anyway. We'll get this poor little Polo all fixed up. Don't you worry, little guy, we'll get you. Okay. Okay, no problem there. And we'll go ahead and tin this up. And we don't need such a beefy leg this time. We'll go with the little axial cap leg. And kind of want to redo that a little bit here, so I'm going to hold it down and hit this side and hit this side. Okay, now I think that should work. Let's make sure it is secure. Yep, that is stuck on there. And now this should go to here. Jackpot. And of course this goes through here, which is fine. This cap is getting replaced, so we'll just go ahead and snag it off of here. I'm actually just going to toss it. So, and as a preemptive thing here, I'm going to go ahead and do this because that cap's getting changed out. So this must have had some pretty big issues for someone to go through all this trouble of taking these components off, putting them back on the bottom of the board, trying to figure out this damage and these damaged traces. Because that crack goes down through all this, but it also has a little tiny crack up here on this side. So I wonder if we should test this. So that's good. It runs up through to here. Okay, yeah, I don't see it through the trace here, so this one here goes to there. Those are all fine. All right, so we've got all of that taken care of. This just goes straight up to this not connection or no connection pad for the flyback. What about this? Is it? Oh, I know. There's another trace here that probably, the crack probably goes through right here. Well, we can fix that also a little bit better than this. All right. And I'll bet you, oh yeah, you can already see it. You can already see it right there. Now for this, I want to go back and forth here, not just grind on it. I want to kind of what is the problem here? It's not exposing the trace enough. There we go. Huh, that's odd. All right, well, not perfect, but it will work. Okay. I'm essentially doing exactly what already had got done, but it'll just look a little bit better is all. My man is smooth like Barry and his Boy Scout vase. Vase? Base. A man is smooth like Barry and his voice got bass. A body like Arnold with the Denzel face. Not sure why that song popped in my head, but it did. All right. 10 cool internet points if you can tell me what that's from. Of course, don't cheat and look it up, but if you know what it is, then 10 cool points, 10 internet cool points for you. All right, so we'll have to form this down like so, and then I want to hold it while we do that. Okay. Nice. Okay, so there's that. Okay. Not as pretty as the ones down here, but it'll still do the job. All right. Now, grab the meter and verify here through there to here. Meter shut off, piece of junk. That's why it's always, you know, I'm like, I can't tell you how many times working on airplanes and stuff that I would do something like this. Oh, it's open. The wire's broken. The connector's bad. The pin's no good. The wire's broken off inside the connector. No, the meter times out. So you can push the little yellow refresh button and it refreshes itself without having to turn it back on and off. And now, magic. So there you go. Good. Okie dokie smoky. Why is there a jumper on these? Is there a crack through here? Well, let's find out. Because it's just a mission. Will this work? Yes. But it's a mission to make it look a bit better. It doesn't have to win any beauty contest. It doesn't have to look like the Mona Lisa, and you don't have to even do any of this. You can leave it the way that it is. But I like to have it look a bit better is all. Because if you ever sell this or give it to somebody, they turn it over and go, "What is this?" You know. That's just, you know, that's how I am. So let's go from here to here and here to here. Yep. I have no idea why that thing was there. Maybe because of this. I mean, that's dead. That's good. That's dead good. That's good, Anthony. That's real good. Just doing a little exposing here to verify. Because I don't see a crack across there. And that rings out. There's no crack there for sure. I don't know what they were doing with that. So we'll just get rid of that altogether. Here to here, here, here. If I push on this stuff while I'm doing it, oh. Nope, it's good. I don't know why that's there. But we'll go ahead and tin up these exposed areas here. Not that it matters, but just so you don't have the exposed copper. Yeah, hang on. Okay. How about this next one? So this must be a damaged trace, or they exposed the trace to make it sit. Yeah, that's all they did. The trace isn't damaged. They just exposed some of the copper to make the wires sit flush on the follow the pad and not move around, or follow the trace and not move around. So let's test this one. That goes from here. No, that goes from here. Here, through that, through that, through that, through that, to here. Yeah, these traces aren't cracked or broken here, here, or here. They just simply scraped away to get the wire to conform to the trace pathway and not move around. But again, that's 2 for 2 on these ones here that don't have a crack. There is a giant crack across here. This whole thing is cracked from this joint here all the way up this way. That's what this is probably here for. But from as far as from here to here, here to here to here, that's all good. It's 0 ohms. So I don't understand why that jumper was there. Probably as a precautionary measure. This one here has probably got this long jumper because of this, which we don't need that either. So adios to this one as well. Okay, so now we just need to see about going from here to here to here to here. Oh. Here to here to here to here to here. Oh, I think it's broken right here. Well, that doesn't make any oh no, I see where it's broken. It's broken across here, right there. You probably can see it in the camera better because of the angle of the camera. I'm looking at it more from this direction, but oh yeah, it's cracked right across here. Easily fixable. And the new replacement flyback does not have a connection that goes through here, so we can just leave that soldered in. We don't have to open that hole up. He says as he immediately opens it up, but yeah, that's not going to work because of this flux. There we go. Had a bunch of flux in there. All right, well, let's test that now. I don't like the way that looks. Hang on. There's too much flux sitting around here, floating on this thing. It's cracking and popping. Rice Krispies. So here to, let's go down to here. Okay, there. I know you can't see it, but okay, so now up to here, 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 there. What's that? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's solder this HOT in because we know it tested okay. So we should get a 0.5 voltage drop to each leg after it's soldered in. I know you can't see here, but I'm going to test it. 0.474 and 0.474. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, the last one we need to test here. Let's make sure all this other stuff tests okay. Oh. All right, those are fine. Look at this at an angle, check everything else. Yeah, that goes, this went right through here, this break. This crack goes all the way up through this, through that, through here, across this way, to this. Dang, man, that's something smacked that flyback hard to do all that. These boards are just super fragile, and you know, this board had cracks in the power supply, cracks all along here, broken corner on the PCB. Crazy. Crazy for feeling so blue. We can obviously see the problem here, but we'll touch a little. So this, this here needs replaced. I'm sorry, repaired. It's still early. Sunday, it's early. So we'll give that a wide berth there. There it is. Okay. Now we're going to be replacing this flyback, so I'm going to remove this pad, this lifted pad here, and I'm going to save it. Actually, okay, no, it's not broken. I thought it was broken. Okay, well, if that's the case, then we'll just leave it like that. Okay, then we'll fill that in when we change the flyback out. So I think that is it for that damage. We'll find out. I need to, this cap's getting replaced also, so we'll go ahead and get rid of this guy. Not even sure what's going on here. That's our 0.1. So this is one of our caps that must get changed out to go back to 25 inch. So I'm gonna, actually I'll just put that up there and save that just in case. Drop my braid, drop the braid. Drop the braid, taste the biscuit. What is that going through there? Somebody, what in the world? Is that diode? No, what? Someone changed that diode to the completely wrong kind. This one here. See that giant diode there? It should be exactly the same as the one next to it. Should look like that. So we're gonna replace that. And that may be more precarious than I expect it to be because they've got the leg bent over like this. Come on, people, don't put the wrong parts in here. What are you doing? This HOT should be fine, but this diode, it might work, but it's not gonna, like if the original one was shorted, whatever shorted it is not gonna short this one without dying first, because this is a much higher rated diode, so unless something is really wrong. Oh, come on, man. I'm just gonna hack this off of here. There. So there's that incorrect diode. So let's put the correct one in there. I'm not going to steal the one from this one because I might be able to use this as a project to get working again. I don't know. So let's steal one from, oh no, I can't use this as a project to get working because I don't have a H coil. I'll still hang on to it in case I come across one because this one's missing it all. So let's go ahead and just steal this. Well, let's make sure it's good first. But okay, diode mode, here we go. That's fine. Okay. So let's steal that one. And it fell right out. With the protectors and all. Okay, let's get this. This is going to be fun trying to do this without dropping or losing the protectors. Not that they're completely necessary, but you know. So let's line this up first, make sure it's. Actually, I can't because. Oh, that's why they moved it over. That's why they bent the leg over, because the pad's gone. Arg. Arg, I tell you. Arg! Is something missing from that pad? Nope. We still got to change this resistor out, by the way. Don't let me forget that. And we got to put this jumper back in that I always forget. You guys let me forget that. You know, some viewers you are. Gosh dang it. There we go. Okay. We need to desolder that other hole here. This one here. Okay. Now you little diode, I don't know how I'm going to put you in here with out dropping these. Let's grab this and see if we can work a little miracle here. Stay on there. Okay. I'm not hopeful, but maybe. You can't see what I'm doing, and they both fell off. Gotta bend these out a bit. I don't know how the heck they did this. I guess they just maybe you set them in place on the board and poke the wires through. I don't know what they did, but got to turn it around the other way. Hold on to it like that. It has to go in like this. And Try upside down. Well, nope, now it's too spread out. Just slightly, there we go. Okay, it's in. Man, there we go. Now stay there. And I need to solder at least one side in here. Well, I have to do this one. The other one's missing. All right, now, because that side is missing, I guess what I can do is this. And just bend that over slightly like they did the last one. There, that'll work. Okay. And we'll finish up this one here. We'll make sure that that's correct. Yep. Okay. So, what now? I think now it's time to take these other components off and put them back on the top side of the board. And we'll grab this parts one for comparison. And that diode does face the correct way. It is facing the right way. So these other components here, let's go ahead and get this off of here. And this one. And I need to do that. Now, this diode here might be a little more difficult. No, it can come out. Okay. All right. Now, I don't know why they put them on the bottom side, because they probably didn't have the tools or ability to put it back on the top side. And yeah, that shares a trace or a pad, so I gotta hit this one too. There we go. Okay. Are these components good? Well, this resistor, we'll check on the parts chassis here, go to ohms, and it reads, well, if it was here, it's, wait a minute. Yeah, it's here, it's this one. It reads 10 ohms. And the one we pulled out from the bottom side reads 10 ohms. So I'll put this one back in the parts chassis. This one we can put back on the top side here. There it is. All right, sorry about that. Let's zoom out. Okay. And it's difficult to see. I keep losing these pegs or other stuff. I don't even know what those noises are of stuff that's falling off. Oh, I know what that sound was. I lost the resistor. Found it! Hang on, that is blocked off. No wonder I couldn't get it through. This one's being stubborn here. There we go. Man, something was stuck in the hole. Stuck in the hole. Do 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 do. Does it go through now? There we go. Lined up. Should go right in now. You know, let me pause. I'm gonna get these in here because this is just taking forever. Hang on. All right, so I got those components in, that diode and that resistor. They're right there. Diode checked fine, no problems. Tested it in the component tester. It's good. So that pretty much is it for our major surgery. I also, in the interest of time, I went ahead and installed the missing width coil, and I also changed out this resistor, this one that was only reading 2 ohms instead of 2.2K. However, of my 3 parts chassis, only 2 of them had a resistor, and both of them also only read 2 ohms. 2.0 or 2.1 if you want to round up, which is close enough to 2.2. I think this one was slightly less. Yeah, 2.03. So I don't know. I guess maybe this does run so hot, you know, it burns off the silk screen. But 2.1 is close to 2.2, close enough to make it operate. So I'll order the correct ones, replace them at a later time. But this will be okay enough for us to just at least run the chassis. So I'm going to, since our power supply is good, all of our major surgery is complete. I need to remove the pincushion board, which I'll probably just do here real quick on camera, but I also want to off camera, I'm going to pause the video and go and look up the part number here on this Flyback, because if this comes back to a valid replacement for a Polo, I'll probably just leave it in here for testing and see what it does. But so I'll do that, and if it's good, I'll leave it in. If not, I'll put the correct one in. I got to pull this off, which we'll do here quick on camera, but then I need to cap it, reflow it, change the poly caps, all that. But I'm wondering if I should just go ahead and try it with the existing capacitor configuration in here. The problem is I don't know if somebody, because like I say, these 2 caps have been changed. These 2 green ones have been changed. This one's been changed, but it looks like, oh, that one's been changed. But all of the rest of these are the original Daewoo caps. So, oh no, this one's been changed too. That one's a Nichicon. But most of these are all the original Daewoo caps, or Daewoo. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm half tempted to just go ahead, if just for the sake of troubleshooting, just go ahead and recap it, change the poly caps, do the reflow, see if this thing is compatible. If not, I'll put the right Flyback in. I'm always torn on what I should do, because we're already at I don't know how long the video is already. It's at least close probably to an hour already. But let's go ahead and check our 243. I think it's 243. It should be 170 ohms. That's this resistor in here for our brightness, because it always burns up. Yeah, 170, 180, so that's good. This resistor here, R167, should be about 2.2 ohms. If it's not, then you'll have, if it's open, then you'll have vertical collapse. 2.3, that's close enough. This resistor here should be 180 ohms or something. 150? No, 150, that's correct. 177 should be 1.1 ohms. If that's open, you'll have vertical collapse. So that's fine. So initial testing for collapse shows it should be fine. This resistor here, R48, 49. This resistor here, if this resistor is open, you'll have just an all white screen. So we want to make sure it's 10 ohms. And it is, so that's fine. Shouldn't have any color problems. I say that, the reason I wanted to test that is because they've changed this cap here. They've put a different RGB decoder chip in here, and they've done a bunch of rework on the neck board. So, yeah. And this, I checked all this. This is all fine. Like I say, they butchered up the wiring, but it is all correct. So, nothing to do on the neck board. I'll take care of the reflow and stuff when I do the caps on it. So, yeah, I don't know. Given the fact that all this rework that was done, I don't really trust anything. So, yeah, I'm gonna cap it. I'm gonna reflow it. I'm gonna change all the poly caps out, and when I come back, I'll have determined whether or not this Flyback is a good replacement. And if it is, I'll leave it in and we'll test it with this one. If not, I'll put a replacement in from Arcade Parts and Repair, because I know those are good. Yeah, and if there's any other anomalies I find, I'll cut in on camera here and show the anomaly. But for the most part, yeah, let me get this pincushion board off on camera here, because I haven't shown that yet in the previous two. And then I'll cut away, do all the rework, and come back and see where we're at, or how it works, I should say. But as far as this pincushion board, let's get this off of here. And it's these 8 connections here. There's 4 and 4. So if we just go ahead and get rid of these. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should come right out. That should come right out. All the legs are loose. Well, none of these are still connected. I don't understand. Mr. Svenning would like to have a word with you. These should have boards in them. There we go. Huh, interesting. Well, there's your pincushion board. So that's out. And I like to go ahead and just fill all the holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. All right, so let me cut away, find out about this Flyback, cap it, reflow it, polycaps, all that jazz, and then we'll come back. Maybe we'll talk about some stuff, or maybe I'll just have it right on the tube ready for testing. I don't know. But all of our major surgery is done and should be complete. Yeah, so it'll be fun trying to see, because that crack comes up and goes around. See, there's another crack here, but it comes up and it goes around. Whoop, it's hard to see. There you go. So it comes up and goes around over to here. It doesn't actually go through that trace, and we tested that. So that's just a scratch. Is that a crack or a scratch? Hang on. Every time I look at this, I find something new here. What is this? What is that? Let's test that. I think all of our surgery is done, and then I notice stuff like that. That's why it's always good to double check. Okay, so this comes down around here. I think we already tested this though. This goes down around here, up through, right across here to here. Nope. What in the world? So right now I have nothing. If I push on it, now I have continuity. Now I don't. Push on it. I don't know. Well, gosh darn, man. There's that. Yep, it's cracked here because as I scrape. So if you look here, as I scrape my lead across there, it's exposing the copper, but it's only exposing the copper on one side. See, if I go like this, it's only exposing the copper on this side, not this side, which means this side is lower than this side. This side's lower than this side, which is why when I go like this, it's only exposing the copper on this side. So crack, yep. What about this? Same exact thing. It's only exposing the copper on this side, not this side. Man alive. What about right here? Same thing. Huh. I am glad I took another look at this. We would have eventually found that, but oh, God. Well, let me fix those three the same way that I fixed these. And I'll be right back and show it here. So hang on one second. Let me fix those the same way, and I'll be right back. Okay, patchwork is complete. So just like before, you know, I haven't cleaned up any of the flux or anything, but now if we go and test this out, zoom out here. So from here, yeah, this doesn't connect. So from here to here, oh, it does. Okay, well. From the angle I'm looking at, I couldn't tell. So there, up through to here. That's good now. Goes through this. This is nice and secure. This is nice and secure. So from here to here, that's good. This is nice and secure. From here to here, yep. So, yeah, I think the original person that tried to work on this missed these three, but they got all the rest of them. And that was why it wasn't working. So, oh man, I need to, while I was doing this, I had a change of thought. I think what I want to do is I need to verify that this flyback is compatible. And if it is, well, no, I forgot about the poly caps. I don't trust the poly caps, especially since this one here was replaced. This one here is supposed to normally be, this one here is supposed to normally be right there, and someone's put it on the bottom. They put that one in there and put this one in there in parallel with it. And so I don't know if they destroyed something. I don't know. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna find out if this is compatible. If it is, I'll leave it in there, but otherwise, I'll change it out. And I'm gonna go do the cap kit and the poly caps. I know I've said it about 15 times now, and I know, I'm sorry, I repeat myself a lot, but I like to get the point across. So, yep, let me get all that rework done, and when I come back, we'll have either this flyback in here, a replacement flyback, and then we'll be on the tube and we're ready to test it. So let's do that. Well, the plan has changed here a bit. I originally was going to get all the rework done and get it on the tube, but in the activities here of doing the rebuilding and the reflow and stuff, I found a couple of things that I want to talk about. So if you recall, they had the C174 cap, the high voltage cap. They had this soldered to the bottom side of the board, and they had a different cap in the top in the C174 location. Well, this is another high voltage cap, and they put this one on top of it, trying to probably get the screen to fill, because this is, I have confirmed via the part number on the side that this is a flyback for a 25/28 inch Hantarex Polo, because I can't find a replacement for the 33. So I think somebody was trying to get this fixed up and work as a 33 inch tube, or as a 33 inch chassis for a 33 inch tube, and they couldn't get it figured out because they had put a 25 inch flyback in here, and it has a lower high voltage. The high voltage is lower than the 33 inch flyback, and because of that they had to add this secondary C174. So they put this one through the through holes on the board, and they put the original one on the bottom in parallel with it to try and gain some more width, is what I'm almost certain they did. So that was an oddity for sure. And then the other issue I found was R232 was completely open. So the brightness circuit, let me tell you how the brightness circuit works. There is pin 7. Pin 7 on the flyback sends voltage out through R233, which is this resistor here. It sends alpha pin 7, goes right to this resistor, R233. Then it goes through this resistor here, R232, which originally was this one. Then it runs through R240 over here on this side, and then it runs directly to the connector here for the brightness pot. So if you have no brightness control, it could be this C176 capacitor in here. It could be this R233. It could be this R232. It could be this R240 over here. Any of those possibilities could cause no brightness control. So you recall that we went ahead and tested R240 before, and we tested R167 and R177, and we even tested R255, whichever this one is right there. This one, R255, but we didn't test R233. So I realized that while I was doing this cap in here and this cap, I was like, oh, there's R2, I forgot to test R233. And as it turns out, R233, which is one of the 1, 2, 3 main resistors for the brightness circuit, is completely open. Absolutely nothing. So we would have had no brightness control. If we got this on the tube and powered it up, we would have had no brightness control. So I'm glad I found that. I mean, I would have found it eventually, but it's one less thing to have to try and troubleshoot later down the road. Other than that, this is ready. So I replaced C170, which is the width cap. I replaced C174, which is the high voltage cap. I removed the pincushion board, and I changed out C144, which is this one. So on the 25/28 inch, it's a 1000 microfarad cap, but on the 33 inch, it's a 2200 microfarad cap. So these are the 4 components here that you must replace when you're changing it from a 33 inch to 25 inch. The rest of these resistors and stuff that are down in the description below are kind of optional. It'll run just fine with the 33 inch resistors in there. And you can see, if you look at it, you'll see the list there. But these are the main 4 components that need to get swapped out or removed or what have you. And then they had this odd extra voltage cap, high voltage cap, which I'm sure they were using to try and get more width out of it. And then we had the open R233. And all of these jumpers and wires and things that we took off as part of the repair. So I got all of the electrolytics replaced, all of the poly caps changed out. All the neck board work is done, caps and everything. I forgot to mark these 4 10 microfarad caps. And I got the reflow and everything's done. So we are ready for it to be tested. I went through and checked again, double checked and triple checked for more cracks, and didn't really see any. There is a little bit of a crack in this trace, but there's plenty of pad left to run, so there's not a big deal on that for the pathway. And I went ahead and touched up with some green paint all of the areas that we repaired down in here, around here, all this area over here, and everything should be good to go. So we are officially ready to test it, and it should work, hopefully. And I forgot to mention, we did change this resistor. I put it in my bag of parts already, but this one doesn't read too much higher than that one we had. I think it's 2.06 versus 2.03, and it's supposed to be 2.2, but it should work. So that being said, we know our power supply is good. I got the jumper soldered back in, and we should be somewhat close to 138 for our B+. Remote board's plugged in, neck board's in good shape, and everything. I made sure that the solder joints, when the wires they cut and soldered back on, were good. None of that's going to come off. So yeah, it's ready for a tube. So let me get it on a tube, and we'll cross our fingers and see if it works. All right, here we go. Is it going to work? Let's find out. We got our anode, neck, yoke, ground, power, video remote, the Critical 7 all connected. Got our TPG hooked up just in case it does work. We'll be able to see what kind of image we get. Got our meter hooked up here to TP6 for positive, and then to the frame for ground, so we can read our B+. Grab my screwdriver here so we can adjust it, and let's see what happens. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. No. We almost got B+. Let's try again here. No. It's trying. I wonder if our HOT got taken out. There could still be... This flyback could have gotten destroyed or damaged trying to run it on a 33-inch application. I did solder that connector back on. Everything was double checked, so it's not an issue of forgetting to solder something back in. I did have that pin, if you recall, I was going to leave it desoldered until we changed the flyback or verified it was correct for this model, and it is, so I soldered that back in. It's slow ticking like the HOT is shorted. Yeah. Well, let's take it back off and see what we can find. Well, the HOT is fine. It turns out that I am not a very good repairman. I missed a crack. I checked this 3 or 4 times. I still missed a crack. So, right here, there is another crack right there. If we check for continuity from here to here, that's good. But this crack right here, if I go from here to here, nothing. Here, nothing. If I touch the thing here, nothing. So, one more crack it is. Yeah, it's not pretty, but it works. Okay. I have a
component leg here that we are going to just solder onto here real quick. Oh, no, my iron's off. I was so confident this was going to work, I turned the iron off. Well, that's what you get. So we're at 130 degrees, 100 Fahrenheit. 200, 250. While I'm doing this, I can clean this tip off here. Okay, now we should be able to, now we're at 600, okay, good enough. Now we can put that there and kind of fold this around and go here. Technically, I don't need to do all the way here. Let's just do it. Let's just do it to there. That'll work. Let's just go like that, because that will work. Okay. All right. Now we can cut that. And let's take a look, make sure it's not shorted to anything. Let's clean it up a little bit. And I'll go back through and paint that one later, because I got to get a new brush and a new paint jar, because this stuff, it kind of congealed on me, and this is the best I could get. This is the best I could do because it kind of congealed on me in the jar. So at least it's not exposed. That's all I was cared about. So now if we check continuity from here to here, hey, it works. Okay, let's put it back on the tube and test it one more time. Okay, attempt number 2. Here we go. No. We still have the exact same issue. Just pushing on stuff here. Nope. Well, back to the drawing board. Okay, well, so I went over everything one more time with a fine-tooth comb, and I couldn't find anything wrong. You know, diodes and resistors and stuff all in here is all fine. HOT is still good. So I am 99.9% sure this flyback has simply failed or is faulty from trying to run on a 33-inch setup and all the other stuff and running 2 different caps and caps in parallel and who knows what else. So I'm going to change the flyback out. But I realized also that I was talking about R233 in here. Yeah, and about how it was open, but I never showed you what I did. So it's supposed to be 220 ohms, but I couldn't find a 220 ohm resistor. The closest I could find was a 170 and a 30, and I put those in series. So if we look here, I've got a 170 ohm, 170k ohm, 170k ohm, and a 30k ohm in series. Right here, 170k and 30k, and if we measure those together in circuit, it's around 200. It's supposed to be 220, but that should give us at least 95% of our brightness control, which should be fine, unless you're on a dim tube or something. But you'll see here that we got, that's not the right one, hang on. Is that should be the right thing, yeah. Yeah, see, we probably still got some B+ on the circuit. Let me short this out here. There we go. There you go. 200K. So yeah, that's my solution to that. But I couldn't find anything else. I checked every solder joint, every trace. The one that I fixed here, I missed that the first time, but I went through and checked everything again, and I'm 100% positive I didn't miss anything. We know our power supply section is good. The ticking is coming from over here, not the power supply. So I am 99.9% sure we have a faulty flyback. So I'm going to replace this flyback, and we're going to give it another test. That way, at least if it doesn't work after that, we know it's not the flyback, because I'm in limbo here until I can verify the flyback is not the problem. Given everything that was done to this and all the cracks and all the bad rework and all the other stuff and the incorrect diodes and all kinds of stuff. So given all that, I'm not sure this is good, so let me change this out. We'll try it with a new flyback. Okay, so old flyback is out. This, not sure why it 49-3097-00 confirm eBay special. So I have an arcade parts and repair replacement in here. Let's turn the TPG on. We're set up to read B+, and let's find out if this was our culprit. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, look at that. And then 135. Ah, I knew it. So before we adjust B+, should be 138. Do we get an image is what I'm interested in. I do have the flyback turned. Yes. Haha, okay. I was gonna say I did have the flyback turned up a little bit because they come turned all the way down from the factory. Where's my little adjustment driver? Here it is. Okay. Not worried about that just yet. We need to get 138. So we're going to go in here and adjust the B+ pot to 138. There you go. Wow. Fantastic. Okay. We need to adjust our focus here and see if we can get... Ooh. Looks like we're like either way too red or missing green. Let's hit the... Yep, we are missing green. Interesting. I'm just touching the... Don't do this. Never... Disclaimer, never ever do this. Don't touch these with your bare fingers. Ooh, look at that. Hello. I'm wiggling this. As I push this out, there's green. And so we got bad solder joints on the green, and we're way too wide. And I'm gonna grab, I have an extra Polo remote board harness. I'm probably gonna hook up this harness just for the ease of adjustments, and then I'll just put that back on the board directly later, or maybe even use this, I don't know. But okay, it's working, and I need to fix the solder joints on there for the green. I'm sure it's just a lifted pad or something. Not really too worried about it, but it's working. So let me get the camera on the tripod. Let me hook up an actual PCB. Let me do some rework on that green transistor, because if I wiggle it back towards me, yep, it goes away. If I push it away from me, there it comes back. So we got some bad joints on there. They looked okay. I tested them out. They seemed okay, but apparently they're not good. Kind of like that crack I missed for the ground on the flyback. But all right, so let me get the camera on the tripod, and while the camera's off, I'll fix that green transistor, and then let's make some adjustments and get a real board on here and see how well we can make this look. Okay, so I got the broken solder joint on the green transistor fixed. It wasn't broken when I initially tested and rang stuff out, but I think during the process of flipping everything over and back and forth, it must have slammed or did something and popped the joint. So I fixed that. I also installed the harness here, and you'll see I have the light turned off because it's going to come over the camera better with this overhead light off. Trying something different. Normally I test all this with that overhead light on, and there's no shield, so it really doesn't, it's really very unprofessional to do it like that. So I have the harness here installed so we can make our adjustments. I have the green pot fixed, and we're going to try this with the overhead light off. I have enough ambient light here in the room to be able to see what to adjust here. So all right, with that all done, here we go. Okay, fire's right on, and all right. Hey, there we go. Look, we got green. Okay, do we have brightness control? Yep, we do. Contrast is all the way up. Brightness is all the way up. So let's turn brightness down, contrast down. Oh, kicked the chassis here. So let's turn our screen pot up. That's our focus. And we'll turn it down to roughly there. Focus is right there. Okay, brightness. Oh yeah, full brightness control. Beautiful. We'll put it right there. Contrast. Full contrast control. Now we got to readjust our focus. There we go. And way too red. All right, so let's turn our red down. Turn our green up. Turn our blue up. Oh, that's red. It's always tricky here trying to do this. Alright, now I gotta turn my flyback back down a little bit. Brightness, roughly there, contrast. Okay, let's try H amp. Ah, there we go. Okay, H shift, which is phase, so that's good width. Vertical position. Alright, that's not bad. Turn our brightness back up a little bit, contrast down. So that's pretty good. Just fine tuning the flyback and the brightness and all that jazz. And I think that's probably pretty good. What do you think of that? I dare say that's pretty good. A little bit too dark, but there's no need to make this video drawn out any longer than it is by trying to fine tune and tweak stuff. But there you go. 33-inch Hantarex Polo successfully resurrected, successfully repaired, and we are now officially 3 for 3 on these 33-inch Polos. They've all been fixed. They've all been converted successfully to 25-inch, and just tweak the brightness a bit more, and I'd say we are good to go. That looks amazing. Yep. Dun, dun, dun. The background, in person, the background's a little bit more red, like it should be right there. And that's blue. Background should be blue there. That's good. And nice. Outstanding. That's beautiful. Well, there you go, boys and girls. B plus is good. Successful repair. We had all the cracks, and we had open R232. We had all the bad rework and bad repairs, and a bunch of cracks that I missed, and who knows? I mean, you saw the video. You know what happened. But okay, so again, I'll let this run for a number of hours. Make sure nothing blows up like I always do. Otherwise, yeah, successfully repaired 3 Hantarex Polo 33-inch chassis. And they're all now 25-inch, so yeah, and I can always convert one of these back to 33 if I need to, or if somebody wants one, things like that. So, okay, well, and that pesky flyback. I'm gonna turn the light on here. This darn, I'm gonna make my own Disney movie and call it That Darn Flyback. So I don't know if this thing is what killed a bunch of stuff or if something else is what took this out. I don't know, but I'm going to take it right here and put it in the garbage. there it goes. So, yep, that's it. So I got one more polo to do. And that's this 25 inch that I showed in the last video. And it is not in good shape. But it is complete, so we'll see what we can do, work some magic on it. But got one more to do, and hopefully we can knock all 4 polos out in a row here. And then there's a lot more stuff coming. There's no end to the content in sight. So that being said, thanks again for watching. Hopefully you learned something. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.